Need for inspections. Part 396 of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations covers the vehicle inspections required by the Department of Transportation. You may wonder why the government makes such an issue of inspections. When you take a truck out, you have a responsibility to uphold. You are sharing the road with others, in vehicles large and small. You want to be sure that the truck will respond to your control so you can drive it safely. Your truck must be in top running order for this to take place. And the only way for you to be sure your vehicle is in good condition before you get behind the wheel is to make a personal inspection of all parts and accessories. Don't you think it makes sense to make sure everything is in order before taking off down the road with a large and very expensive piece of equipment? Certainly you would check your car before taking off on a cross-country trip. You would want to make sure everything is in good running order so you can avoid any unnecessary trouble on your trip. Personal safety. No one is more important to you than yourself. Therefore, to ensure your personal safety on the road should be your first concern. When you comply with the laws and regulations set down by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, you ensure your safety as a driver. After you inspect your vehicle, you gain a feeling of confidence. You are free from worry that something might break down and lead to further complications. This feeling alone can make a difference in your driving habits. If you're not worrying about whether your brakes will hold or your lights will work, your mind is free to focus on the traffic. This simply allows you to be a better, safer driver. Need for inspections. Part 396 of the Federal Motor required by law. Why are there laws requiring the inspection of vehicles you plan to operate? Laws are guidelines which have been set up to protect everyone, the carrier, the client, the public, and you. They set standards and provide some assurance that these standards will be met. If there were no regulations, what would stop a less professional driver from jumping in an unsafe truck and heading down the road? The fact that you completed a full inspection on your own vehicle would be small comfort if he plowed into you because his brakes failed. Regulations also serve as a constant reminder of the steps which should be taken for the safe operation of the vehicle. Without a set of guidelines, it is too easy to forget all the steps that must be taken each and every time you head out on your trip. Carrier's required records. According to the regulations, it's actually the carrier who is charged with seeing that vehicles are inspected and that records are kept of these inspections. In practice, though, it's the driver who usually does the actual inspection and fills out the reports. In doing so, you're acting as the carrier's agent. And, if the vehicle you're driving is found to be unsafe, it's you, the driver, who is most likely to be fined. That's why you have to know what is required. Regulations call for carriers to maintain a regular system of inspection covering all their vehicles. Also, they must keep a maintenance record on each of the vehicles. Driver's responsibilities. As a driver, you will inspect your vehicle before and after your run. Specifically, the regulations require you inspect your vehicle at the end of your run and report any repairs that should be made. Then, in your pre-trip inspection, you verify those repairs have been made. But here's where practice differs slightly from policy. What usually happens is that the pre-trip inspection is more thorough than the post-trip. In the pre-trip, you not only check that repairs were made, but also make sure that various systems and components are in good working order. This makes sense when you consider that you may not always have the same truck today that you had yesterday. You want to be confident the truck you are about to drive is safe. We'll look at how these two inspections work together later in this chapter. Types of inspections. There are several types of inspections. They each have a slightly different purpose. Pre-trip inspection. Your pre-trip inspection involves a complete circle check of the vehicle you will be driving. You'll check a number of sites along the inside and outside of the tractor and trailer, and your inspection will take you full circle around your vehicle. By following the same steps every time, you will not overlook any part of your inspection duties. You'll have to show you can perform a pre-trip inspection to get your CDL. In-transit inspection. Your responsibility to make inspections doesn't stop once you move out on the road. In-transit checks are something you should include as part of proper road operations. Being aware of the condition of your vehicle while you drive can prevent a major problem from taking place. The law does not require that you inspect your vehicle while you are in transit. However, it is good practice to do so. Your vehicle may have passed your pre-trip inspection, but problems can develop while you are out on the road. It is suggested you make a quick check at every meal stop. There are circumstances which even warrant a stop alongside the road to make a check of certain conditions. A load of hazardous materials demands a tire check at the beginning and end of your trip and each time you park. Driving a reefer means you will want to stop and check the temperature periodically. This is the time to make an in-transit inspection just to remain on the safe side. Post-trip inspection. According to Section 396.11, a report of the vehicle's condition must be made at the end of each day's work. Section 396.3 and Part 393 detail the parts and accessories which must be checked. Any defects must be reported and repaired. Whoever makes the repairs, be it you, someone in maintenance, or an outside garage, must sign the report to certify repairs have been made. This driver's vehicle inspection report, to certify repairs have been made. This driver's vehicle inspection report, DVIR, then forms the basis of the next pre-trip inspection. You'll verify that needed repairs were made and that nothing else is wrong with the vehicle. Official roadside inspections. Section 396.9 of the DOT Safety Regulations authorizes a special agent of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, to stop and inspect your vehicle. This agent could be a federal or state DOT representative, highway patrol officer, weighmaster, or Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, CVSA, official. This inspection could take place alongside the road, or at a port of entry station. This is an inspection you definitely want to pass. If you don't, your vehicle can be declared out of service by the special agent. The inspection takes only about 15 or 20 minutes. If there are no problems found with your vehicle, you can be on your way once again knowing that you are behind the wheel of a safe vehicle. If your vehicle is declared out of service by the inspector, you cannot drive the vehicle until the repair has been made and the vehicle has been re-inspected. If the vehicle cannot be repaired right where it is, it will have to be towed to a repair shop. The roadside inspection is concerned with the most common violations that can take place as a result of the driver's failure to make the pre-trip inspection. The driver is also subject to inspection. The agent will check to see if you are keeping your logs up to date. Your condition is also observed to make sure you are truly able to operate the vehicle safely. If your vehicle does not pass the roadside inspection, you must deliver the report to your carrier within 24 hours. Once the motor carrier has received the inspection report, the carrier has 15 days to take care of the problems stated on the report. To make the business of official roadside inspections more efficient, 48 states, Canada, and Mexico have joined an organization called the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance. The CVSA developed a standard inspection that can be conducted quickly by a mobile unit. That's the critical item inspection, which involves checking the brakes and steering, tires and wheels, the fifth wheels, drawbars, and suspension. Once you pass the inspection, you will receive a sticker for your vehicle. The sticker is good for 3 months. It shows concerned officials that your vehicle has been inspected recently and passed. In CVSA member states, if you pass the critical item inspection, you're not likely to be subject to another roadside inspection for 90 days unless the official notices something clearly wrong. Making inspections. When making inspections, it helps to follow a routine. That way you don't forget anything. One routine you might use has 7 steps. Note the vehicle's condition in general as you approach it. Review the most recent vehicle inspection report looking for problems that require special attention. Check the engine compartment. Start the engine and inspect inside the cab. Turn off the engine and check all the lights. Walk all around the vehicle checking critical parts. Check the signal lights. Start the engine and check the brakes. Here are some specific things to look for. Overview. Make sure the vehicle is level, not leaning to one side or the other. Check the ground under your truck for puddles or wet spots, which means something is leaking. Search until you find out where they are coming from. Are there any black streaks of oil on the inside sidewall of a tire? That likely means a wheel seal is leaking. Review the most recent DVIR. In the engine compartment. Make sure the parking brakes are set or chock the wheels. Check fluid levels. You should be able to see the radiator water level just below the neck of the filler cap. Use the dipstick to check the oil. Check the tension and condition of belts by pressing down on them. There should be no more than 3/4 of an inch of slack. Look for small oil leaks. Check the battery connections, the battery box, and hold downs. Look for corrosion around the battery posts. Unless you have a maintenance-free battery, you should check the battery fluid level. Make sure all the vent caps are in place. Look for cracked or worn wiring insulation and broken or disconnected wires. Check the compressor oil supply and the supply of alcohol in the alcohol evaporator, if you have one. Inside the cab. Put the gear shift in neutral, park if you have an automatic. Start the engine and listen for strange noises. Check all the gauges. Make sure they work and give normal readings. Chapter 2 has details on what normal readings to expect. Test all switches and controls to make sure they work. Check the air brake system. The air brake system checks are described in Chapter 4. Unless you want an air brake restriction on your CDL, you'll have to show the examiner you can perform these tests. Do them during the engine start part of the pre-trip inspection. Clean and adjust your mirrors. Check your windows for cracks. If the glass is dirty, clean it. Check the supply of windshield washer fluid. Make sure your wiper blades are in good condition, and that the wipers work. If there is anything, stickers, signs, that will obstruct your view, remove it. Only stickers and decals required by law are permitted. Make sure you have a properly charged and rated files. Stickers, signs, that will obstruct your view, remove it. Only stickers and decals required by law are permitted. Make sure you have a properly charged and rated fire extinguisher. It must be rated at least 5 BC. If you are hauling hazmat, it must be rated at least 10 BC. You must also have 3 reflective triangles. Unless the truck has circuit breakers, you must also have spare fuses. Make sure you have cargo manifests and any special permits you might need to haul your load, and supplies for doing your log. Check the lights. Turn off the engine. Turn on the headlights and the four-way flashers. Leave the cab, take the key with you, and make sure the headlights and four-ways are working.
Check, 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 check. There's the sound. There you go. There you go. There's the sound.
Make sure both high and low beams work. Turn these lights off. Turn on the parking, clearance, side marker and identification lights, and right turn signal before starting the walk-around inspection. Walk-around inspection. Start at the left front side. Walk toward the front of the truck, inspecting as you go. Inspect the front of the truck. See that all the lights there are clean and working. They should be amber in color. Walk down the right side, inspecting critical areas there. Note that the right turn signal is working. It should be amber or white in color. If your tractor is a cab over, see that the cab lock is engaged. Go on to inspect the back of the truck. Check all the lights and reflectors there. They should be red. If you have mud flaps, make sure they're not torn, dragging, or rubbing on the tires. Make sure the license plate is securely in place and clean. Work your way back to the cab, inspecting the left side of the truck. Check that all the lights and reflectors are clean and free of damage, amber color in front, red at the rear. If your battery is here instead of the engine compartment, inspect it now. During the walk around, closely inspect the following parts and systems. Tires, check the tread depth. Remember, 4/32 of an inch of tread are needed on the steering axle and 2/32 of an inch on the rest of the tires. Are there any cuts in the rubber? Do any of the ply show? Are duals touching? Are tire sizes, or radials and bias types mixed on the same axle? Check for cut or cracked valve stems. Check the pressure with a gauge. Wheels, check the lug nuts for tightness. Look for any cracks starting to form around the lug nuts. Rust or bright metal are signs the nuts are loose and the wheel is not mounted tightly. Look for damaged rims and missing parts. Check for welding repairs, which are prohibited. Check the hub oil level. Suspension, check for cracked or broken leaves. Check for deflated or hissing airbags. Note spring hangers that allow the axle to move out of position. Look for damaged or missing torque rods or arms, U-bolts, or spring hangers. Check the condition of the shock absorber. Brakes, check for loose or missing parts and check the push rod travel. Refer to Chapter 4 for more details on adjusting the slack adjusters. See that brake linings have not worn thinner than 1/4 inch. Brake shoes and linings should not have oil, grease, or brake fluid on them. Axles, powered axles should not leak oil. Check the condition of the lift mechanism on retractable axles. If they're air-powered, check for leaks. Sliders, make sure lock pins are firmly in their holes and locking devices are in place. Air system, look for hoses that are kinked, rubbing, or worn. Listen carefully for hissing noises. Search for the source of the leak. Drain water from the air tanks. Coupling, make sure the trailer air and electrical connections are made properly and that lines are not dragging. Be sure to check all air and electrical connections throughout a double or triple combination. Fuel tanks, double check the fuel level in all tanks. See that the tanks are mounted securely, and that fuel crossover lines aren't hanging dangerously low. Fifth wheel, see that the coupling is secure. Make sure the fifth wheel release lever is locked. There should be no space between the upper and lower fifth wheel. Don't forget to check the fifth wheel, locking lever, and safety chains on the dolly in a double or triple rig. Landing gear, if the trailer is coupled to the tractor, the landing gear should be up and the handle stowed away. Spare tire, if you have a spare tire, make sure that it's in good condition and that it's mounted securely in the rack. Exhaust system, look for loose, broken, or missing pipes, mufflers, or stacks. See that exhaust system parts aren't rubbing against fuel system parts, tires, or other moving vehicle parts. Check for exhaust system leaks. Steering system, look for bent, broken, or missing parts. If you have power steering, make sure you check the hoses, pumps, and the level of power steering fluid. Check for leaks. Steering wheel free play should be no more than 2 inches to either side of a 20-inch steering wheel. Shake the steering arm, tie rod, and drag link at each wheel to see they are not loose. Cargo securement, make sure you have the minimum number of tie downs according to FMCSR Part 393. Make sure and drag link at each wheel to see they are not loose. Cargo securement, make sure you have the minimum number of tie downs according to FMCSR Part 393.110, and that all bindings and chains are in good condition and secure. Check blocking and bracing to assure yourself that the load won't shift once the truck is in motion. Check the seals on sealed cargo. Check locks and latches on trailer doors. Check the tailboard or end gate, if you have one. Any canvas or tarp must be tied down so it won't flap or billow out. If you're hauling an oversized load, make sure you have the signs, lights, and flags you need. If you have sideboards or stakes, make sure they are free of damage and securely in place. Check the header board, if you have one. Make sure that it's in good condition. Check the signal lights. When you've been all around the vehicle, get back in the cab. Turn off the lights. Pull down the trailer brake hand valve. Next, turn on the turn signal. Go out and make sure the stop lights are on and that front and rear signals are working. The front signal should be amber or white, the rear signal red, amber, or yellow. Check the brakes. Checking the brakes means checking the service and parking brakes, as well as the air brake system. Put on the trailer brakes, then try to move forward in the lowest gear. If the trailer brakes are working and the coupling is secure, they should hold you back. Use a similar method to check the service brake. Release the parking and trailer brakes. Then test the service brake's power to stop the truck while moving forward in low gear. Test the parking brake by applying it while stopped. Then see if it holds as you try to move forward. Daily Vehicle Inspection Report Form. Just as you make your inspection each day before you go out on the road, so too will you need to fill out your daily vehicle inspection report form. This is a checklist of all the items which must be inspected and which must be in safe operating condition before the vehicle may be driven. You saw one example of a vehicle inspection report form in the observation skills test. There's another type you might see. With this form, you check off only those items that need attention. The vehicle inspection report form is often combined with the driver's daily log in the same book. Actually, the inspection report form serves two functions. It helps to remind you of all the things which must undergo your keen examination each day. And it is written proof that the inspection did take place. The law requires that this report be filled out, and it must be turned in at the end of each day's completed work assignment.
So I'll just follow the vehicle inspection report.
Filling out the report. Make sure that you do not overlook any part of your checklist. Don't rush through it. Your report must list any and all problems that could hamper the safe operation of the vehicle in question. If your inspection fails to turn up any defects, this too should be stated in your report. The report must identify the motor vehicle and it must be signed by you. In the case of team operations, only one driver needs sign the report. If you operate more than one vehicle in one day, it is your responsibility to fill out a vehicle inspection report on each vehicle. Repair defects promptly. A defect can affect the safe operation of your vehicle. No matter what it is, the problem should be taken care of promptly. In fact, the regulations require the carrier to see to it that any defect is taken care of to return the vehicle to a safe condition of operation. If repairs are not made to correct the defect, it is against the law to take the vehicle out onto the road. Don't forget, the safety of the public is threatened by the presence of an unsafe truck on the public roadway. Attitude. The attitude toward inspections is one of the differences between a truck jockey and a professional driver. It is very easy to get into a habit of walking around your truck and saying you inspected it. You look without seeing. You start saying to yourself it was fine yesterday. I don't need to check it again. You start filling out the inspection report from the cab of your truck. Because your truck is designed to be a reliable piece of equipment, you might get away with a slipshod attitude toward inspections for a good long while. But the mark of a true professional is taking pride in the little everyday things that no one sees you doing. You don't inspect your truck just because it's required, or you're afraid of being put out of service. You do it because it's part of doing your job right. Also, inspection is something you should be doing all day long, not just once a day. You should always be listening to, watching, and paying attention to your truck. For example, every time you walk back to open your trailer doors, inspect that side of the truck. Then take the long way back to the cab and inspect the other side. Listen to the truck when you are driving. Get used to its normal noises. Then when you hear something new, figure out what caused it. Watch your tires in the mirrors. Be sensitive to the feel of the truck. Just paying close attention to the truck will go a long way toward making it a safe vehicle. Make inspecting the truck a habit that you do whenever you are around it. Goodbye, 9 to 5. If you don't know this by now, you'll soon find out that being a truck driver is different from almost every other profession. In any other kind of job you probably know that you will work certain hours, the same days every week. Then when quitting time comes you can punch out and go home. It's not that way at all with truck driving. As a driver, you are concerned with three kinds of time. Your job, the run, could take from a few hours to several days to complete. You don't stop driving just because the clock says it's 5 p.m. That's one kind of
to tap and help me out get this live out for the begathon. It is a begathon after all. It's where streamers beg for money. I need $600 to make it to the CDL class by next week. If you don't have money, that's fine. You can help me by tapping and tapping live, tapping likes, and sharing. You can click on share, click on repost, click on share, and then click on stories, and you can help me that way. Tap. You can also leave some encouraging messages in the chat. That would also be a great help. Thank you.
time. There's one other factor that's unusual about the truck driver's day. The number of hours you can work today and the kind of work you can do is determined by the hours you worked yesterday, the day before, and up to 7 days in the past. A logbook helps keep track of all these different kinds of days. Keeping track. A logbook shows how you spent your time and where you were on the road. On the monthly summary sheet, you record your hours for the month. Both the daily log and the monthly summary help you stay within the regulations. In fact, the logbook is to make sure you comply with regulations regarding your hours of service. You record each 24-hour period on a separate log sheet. Logbooks can seem awkward at first because you start recording your activities at midnight and end that page at midnight the same calendar day. Within that 24-hour period, any number of things can happen. You could finish one run and start another. You could run out of hours and have to stop to rest before regulations let you start again. And of course at midnight, one calendar day will end and another will begin. But with a little practice, keeping a log will be no problem at all. Department of Transportation regulations require you to complete your logbook every day. They are very specific about how you complete your logbook. It is a task that takes time and skill. You must keep an accurate and updated account of your activities. If you fail to do this, you may be penalized. The hours of service regulations. Department of Transportation regulations are very specific about how you may spend your time on the road. You can find the rules about hours of service and logbooks in Part 395, Hours of Service of Drivers, of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, FMCSR. If you don't keep track of your time properly or don't obey the rules about how much time you spend working, you can be declared out of service. Any agent of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration can inspect your logbook and declare you out of service. These agents include highway patrol officers, DOT inspectors, and waymasters. Once you have been declared out of service, you must spend the next 10 hours off duty before you can return to the wheel. The 10 hours may be spent as sleeper berth time. You must also mail or deliver to your carrier a copy of the out-of-service form within 24 hours. Your carrier cannot require or permit you to drive during this 10-hour period. Duty status. As a driver you are required by FMCSR 395.8 to keep track of your time 24 hours a day every day. On a log sheet you'll have to break your time up into 4 different categories, called duty statuses. Off-duty or off. Sleeper berth or SB. Driving or D. On duty, not driving, or on. Off-duty time. This is the time that you are not responsible for your truck or your job in any way. Roughly speaking, this is all the time you spend after you leave work and before you come back the next day. You can be doing anything you want as long as you aren't being paid for it by anyone. If you are doing paid work, it counts as on-duty time, even if you work for someone else, and even if you don't work as a driver. Sleeper berth time. This is similar to off-duty time. The main difference is that you are spending this time resting in the sleeper berth. You must be in the sleeper. You can't be in the passenger seat or inspecting the truck. Driving time. This is the time you spend at the wheel of a motor vehicle while it is in operation. On-duty, not driving time. From the moment you begin your workday until the time you are relieved of your duties, you are on duty. If you are required to be ready for work, then you are on duty. Even if all you are doing is sitting at the terminal waiting for your truck to be loaded, you are on duty. All of the time you spend working but not driving is called on-duty, not driving time. Here are some examples of on-duty, not driving time. Waiting to be dispatched. Inspecting or servicing your vehicle. Time spent as a co-driver, unless you are in the sleeper berth. Loading and unloading, including supervising and taking care of paperwork. Participating in a random drug testing program. Performing duties related to accidents. Repairing, obtaining assistance for, or attending a disabled vehicle. Providing a service for the carrier. Performing any other work that you are paid for by the trucking company or another job. Driving and on-duty limits. You are allowed to be driving only so many hours at a time. Here's where that last unusual factor we mentioned at the start of this chapter comes into play. You will see that the number of hours you may work today will depend on how many you worked yesterday, and up to 7 days before that. There are 4 basic time rules you must understand and obey. After many years in force, some of these long-standing rules were changed to give drivers a better chance to get sleep and to reduce fatigue-related accidents. 11-hour rule. If you have had 10 straight hours of off-duty time, you cannot drive for more than 11 hours. 14-hour rule. You cannot drive beyond the 14th consecutive hour after coming on duty, following 10 straight hours off-duty. 60 hours 7-day rule. If your company does not work every day of the week, you must not drive after being on duty for 60 hours in 7 straight days. 70 hours 8-day rule. If your company does work every day of the week, you must not drive after being on duty for 70 hours in a period of 8 straight days. The monthly log summary sheet is the part of the log book that will help you comply with the 67th and 78th rules. You'll learn about the monthly log summary sheet later in this chapter. Exceptions to the rules. Certain types of drivers are exempt from the rules we
Sorry about that. We got a guy out here. Got a guy out here, like outside my place here. He's just like parked on the road. Yeah. Was a random guy. All right.
Just outlined. Some of these exemptions involve local drivers and special situations. Exceptions to the hours of service regulations are made under certain conditions. These exemptions and exceptions are found in Section 395.1 of the FMCSR. You should read them carefully to see if they apply to the type of work you are doing and what you must do to comply with them. Under a rule effective January 2004, any period of 7 or 8 days will end after any off-duty period of 34 or more consecutive hours. The logbook. You will have to fill out an original and one copy of each log. The original must reach the carrier within 13 days after you complete the form. You must keep the copies of your logs for the past 7 straight days with you. You can't use just any form for a log sheet. The DOT has approved only certain ones. They can be obtained from your carrier or a truck stop. They are: the daily log, Form MCS 59. The multi-day log, MCS 139 and MCS 139A. Also, you must fill out your own forms and only your own forms. No one may fill out a form for you. There are a couple of exceptions to this. One is that the company name and address may be pre-printed if you work for one carrier. And, as we pointed out in Chapter 11, many carriers now use computer-generated logs. If your company uses computer-generated logs, you'll be instructed in their use. But whenever you use logbooks, the entries must be in your own handwriting, and they must be legible. Neatness and accuracy are important. If a DOT inspector can't read your writing, you can be put out of service even if your log is correct. The logbook is made up of daily log sheets. In addition to filling out the grid which the FMCSR requires, each log sheet you complete must include the following information: the date, the month, day, and year of the beginning of the 24-hour period. The carrier's vehicle numbers. The number of miles you drove that day. Your legal signature. The name and main office address of your motor carrier. The name of the co-driver, if any. The number of hours in each duty status. The total hours, which must add up to 24. Any shipping document numbers or names of shippers and commodities. Starting at the top of the form shown in Figure 26.1, here are some things to remember when filling out the log. When you fill out the date, you may spell out the name of the month. This would avoid any confusion as to whether 1688 means January 6th or June 1st. Some companies require that you enter the date with numbers only, because the logs will be scanned by computer. As always, you should follow your company's policy in these matters. To fill out the vehicle identification numbers, you look for tractor numbers on the front of the cab or on the door. You can find trailer numbers on the front panel or the rear doors. If you cannot find the vehicle identification numbers, use the license plate number. If you are working with a co-driver, be sure to write down only the miles you drove on the miles driven today line. Don't put the total miles the truck moved. When you sign the log, you are saying everything is true and correct and that you are legally liable for everything you wrote. You must use your legal signature, not your nickname or initials. Filling out the grid. To keep the log current, you must update it every time you change your duty status. In practice, this will be just about every time you stop the truck and every time you start moving again. A good habit to get into is to keep your log handy and update it right after you stop and right before you start moving. The horizontal lines in the grid show the length of time spent in each duty status, and the vertical lines show the actual time when the duty status was changed. Each block in the grid is 1 hour. Each long line in the middle of each block is the half hour, 30 minutes. The short line, each long line in the middle of each block is the half hour, 30 minutes. The short lines are quarter hours, 15 minutes. The first one is 1/4, 15 minutes after the hour, and the second is 3/4, 45 minutes after the hour. In other words, each hour is broken into fourths and each line within each box is 1/4 hour. The reason for this is you are required to keep track of your time to the closest quarter hour. To record the length of time spent in each duty status, start at the vertical line that represents the correct time. Put your pencil on that vertical line in the horizontal area that represents the duty status you are about to begin. Draw a horizontal line that continues until you switch duty status. Draw a vertical line up or down along the line that represents the time you switch status until you get to the right horizontal area. Then start a new horizontal line in the new duty status. We guarantee you this is easier to do than to describe. Whenever you change duty status, you must record the name of the city, town, or village, with the state abbreviated, where the change took place. This is done in the remarks section. If you were not in a city, town, or village when the duty status change took place, the FMCSR gives you 3 other ways to record your location. You can record the highway number and the nearest milepost, highway number and the name of a service plaza or truck stop, highway numbers of the nearest 2 intersecting highways, followed by the name of the nearest city, town, or village with the state abbreviated. Always use the local time at your home terminal. This is very important for long-haul drivers. If your home terminal is in Los Angeles and you drive to New York City, you will cross 3 time zones. But the time in Los Angeles is the time that will apply as you fill out your log. Total hours is all the time you record, off-duty time plus sleeping berth time plus driving time plus on-duty not driving time. It must add up to 24. In the remarks section you must identify the load you are hauling. This could be a manifest number, bill of lading number, the name of the shipper and the commodity hauled, or a pro number, which is a number assigned to that load. Example. As an example, let's look at the log for 1 day of a trip from Phoenix, Arizona, to Corpus Christi, Texas. The date is January 8, 2004, and the carrier you are working for is called USA Trucking. The main office address is 2323 Front Street, San Francisco, California. Your tractor identification number is 9876 and the trailer's is 5432. Be sure to put the bill of lading number, 100200031, in the lower left corner of the remarks section. Following is a summary of what happened on the first day of the trip. As you read it, check the login figure 26-2 on the next page to see how each activity was recorded. Midnight to 1:45 a.m. You were off duty the night before and came into work at 1:45 a.m. 1:45 to 2 a.m. You were on duty but not driving because the first thing you did was a pre-trip inspection. You did that until 2 a.m. Since Section 395.8 of the FMCSR requires a location be shown for every change of duty status, you make a loop in the remarks section from 1:45 a.m. to 2 a.m. to span this time period. Figure 26-2 shows how to make this loop. Then make a diagonal line below the loop. Above the line, write Phoenix, Arizona. Below the line, write Safety Inspection. 2 to 4:30 a.m. driving. You were driving toward Corpus Christi, Texas. 4:30 to 4:45 a.m. on duty not driving. You stopped in Tucson to inspect your load, tires, and vehicle. In the remarks section, draw a loop, then a diagonal line. On the top of the line write Tucson, Arizona. 4:45 to 7:15 a.m. driving. You were driving toward Corpus Christi, Texas. 7:15 to 7:30 a.m. on duty not driving. You stopped at the weigh station near San Simon. They checked your paperwork and you checked your load and vehicle again. In the remarks section, draw a loop and a diagonal line. On top of the line write San Simon, Arizona. 7:30 to 8 a.m. driving. You were driving toward Corpus Christi, Texas. 8 to 9 a.m. off duty. You stopped in Lordsburg, New Mexico, for a meal. Because you have written authorization from your company, you log this meal as off-duty. Without that written authorization to take meal breaks off-duty, you would have had to show this time as on-duty not driving. In either case, the time spent eating counts the same under the 14-hour rule. The advantage of taking meal breaks off-duty is that it does not count as on-duty time under the 70-hour rule. 9 to 11:30 a.m. driving. You were driving toward Corpus Christi, Texas. 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on duty not driving. You arrived in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Here your trailer was partly unloaded. You were on duty not driving while you watched the unloading and completed the necessary paperwork. You inspected your rig, brought your logbook up to date, and then headed out for Corpus Christi to deliver the rest of the load. 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. driving. You were driving toward Corpus Christi, Texas. 3:30 to 5 p.m. off duty. You stopped at a truck stop in Van Horn, Texas, for some rest. You got something to eat, took a shower, and then went into the sleeper berth. 5 to 12 a.m., midnight, sleeper berth. At midnight, a 24-hour period has ended. You will stay in the sleeper until 2 a.m. the next day. After breakfast, you will have had at least 10 straight hours off duty and will be ready to begin your day. When you get up, you complete this log sheet. Fill out the totals. Here you need to measure the length of time you spent in each of the rows on the grid. The first row is easy. You are off duty from midnight to 1:45 a.m. That's 1 3/4 blocks or 1 3/4 hours. You are also off duty from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. which is 1 hour. That makes the total so far 2 3/4 hours. Finally, you are off duty for 1 1/2 hours from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. That brings the total time off duty to 4 1/4 hours. Put that down in the first line of the total hours column. If you use decimals, that would be 4.25 hours. Figuring sleeper time is even easier. You are in the sleeper berth from 5 p.m. to midnight for a total of 7 hours. Figuring the driving time, and on-duty not driving time, is a little harder, but do it the same way you figured off-duty time. Figure the length of each line and add those lengths together. It might help to think of it in terms of dollars and cents. Each whole block is $1. Each quarter block is a 25-cent piece, a quarter. Now add the numbers in the total hours column. They must equal 24. If they don't, go back and check each row to find your mistake. The last thing you must do is fill in the total miles driving today. Since you don't have a co-driver, the number of miles you drove is the same as the number of miles the truck moved. After you update the monthly summary, which we'll look at next, you start a new log for a new 24-hour period. Note that you finished a log in the middle of your run. Your log day ended but your job day didn't. You're still headed for Corpus Christi, and will keep driving, except for the necessary rest periods and stops, until you get there.
Here, check. I got some. After a shower, you went to your sleeper berth to rest. Sleeper berth. You stopped at a truck stop to get something to eat and take a shower. Off duty. You are in the truck en route to your destination. Driving and on duty.
The monthly summary sheet. The monthly summary sheet is just that, a summary. At a glance, it tells you how many hours you worked each day, the days you did not work at all, how many hours you can work tomorrow. Look at figure 26.3. The monthly summary sheet has a space at the top for the month and is divided down the middle. The column on the left is for the 70-hour 8-day driver. The right column is for the 60-hour 7-day driver. We will talk about the 70-hour 8-day column. This is the one used most often by drivers since most carriers work 7 days a week. The monthly summary sheet records the number of on-duty hours each day of the month. It also shows the hours available to work tomorrow. To keep a clear account of your hours, update your monthly summary sheet every day. The monthly summary sheet is divided into 5 columns. The first column is already filled in with the days of the month. It is your job to fill in the rest. Hours worked today. This column is the total of your on-duty hours for the day. Remember, on-duty means both your driving, line 3 on the grid, and on-duty not driving, line 4, time. Column A. This will tell you your total hours on duty the last 7 days. You find that by adding the last 7 figures you entered in the hours worked today column. This column is tricky. To do it right, use just the last 7 entries in the hours worked today column. Don't start at the top and add the whole column. Don't take yesterday's total and add the hours worked today to it. See figure 26.4. Column B. This will tell you how many hours you can work tomorrow. You arrive at that by subtracting the number of hours in column A from 70. Always remember to enter today's hours before you figure out how many hours you can work tomorrow. Column C. This tells you how many hours you've worked in the last 8 days. Regulations say you can't drive after being on duty more than 70 hours in 8 days. This column helps you obey that regulation. You figure this column the same way you figured column A, except here you add the last 8 days instead of 7. If you follow the procedures you've learned in this chapter every day, you'll always know exactly where you are with respect to how many hours you have been on duty and how many hours you can work tomorrow.
Check, check, check. What's up, Stephen Gauss? How you doing? I pray for you. Good to see you again. On the monthly summary sheet, you can see how many hours.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey, man, how you doing? Just doing
Same
a bag.
here.
Yeah. I'm doing a begathon because I had to use $600 for my budget for the CDL class. I'm trying to do my best to recover those 600. Appreciate any contributions. If you can't, I will appreciate typing the likes, positive messages on the chat. I appreciate that too. Anything that can help. You can click on share and then click on stories, and then you can click on share and then click on repost. That also will help me out. But
do you take Venmo or what?
I take Cash App. I take Cash App. Do you have Cash App or no? Quiz time.
Yes, I do. Send me your username.
It's for Lubalu. FORLUBALU. For Lubalu. That's my Cash App. I was gonna have people do TikTok gifts, but guess what I found out, man? TikTok.
Can you type it down?
Yeah, I can type it down.
For Lubalu.
Hey, what's up, Flying Green? Hey, Flying Green, thank you with the little heart on my head. Thank you so much. Flying Green, I'm doing a begathon. Hey, what's up, Flying Green? Good to see you. I had to use $600 of my CDL class money that I have to pay. It's like $4,000. I had to use 600 of those dollars for an emergency. And I talked to my instructor. She's going to let me pay last say on the 27th. So
I got you. I'll hit you up later. I gotta go.
Thank you, Stephen Gauss. Appreciate it. So, but yeah, she let me come up with the last 600 by the 27th. So I'm asking contributions from everybody. If you can't contribute because, like the TikTok gifts, I found out that they take 70%. 70%. So basically, you really can't do begathons on TikTok. Maybe that's something for Twitch and Kick where you can do the begathons, but I don't know what's wrong with these people. Begathons are like a regular part of
Todd is sad.
Yeah, begathons are like a regular part of like streaming culture. And let me tell you something. The Chinese never did that. The Chinese never took 70%. They took 30%. Okay. And as soon as Oracle took over, okay, they've just been getting worse and worse. Anyway, I do have Cash App. Stephen Gauss is going to send me some money with Cash App. But if you cannot contribute, because not everybody's loaded, especially in this economy, you can help me by tapping. You can help me with likes. You can help me with 2 shares. You can click on share and then click on
I can't
story.
have Cash App.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay. You're probably out of the United States then, huh? So you can click on share and then click on story, and then you can click on share and click on repost.
Yep.
Yep, that's what I thought. So, but you can do those 2 shares. You can tap for likes and also positive comments. You know, if you can put positive, encouraging comments on the chat, that also helps the algorithm. What's up, Lost Fall? I think Lost Fall left. I don't know. When it comes to TikTok Studio, like right now it says 1 person, so I know the Flying Green's here. But sometimes, let's say that 4 more people come in, and TikTok Studio won't tell me. Or sometimes the reverse happens. I see 4 people come in, I see them in the chat, I'm talking to them. When they leave, I still see them on TikTok Studio, and it doesn't, like, it has a problem updating for some reason. It's really strange. So, but yeah, you know. So yeah, so this is my first begathon. Never done a begathon before. But and I'm mainly doing it so I can say if something bad happens that I don't make it, I can say, hey, I tried everything. I tried everything. What's up, Sky? I can say I tried everything possible to make it. Okay. So but yeah. Uh I appreciate the shards of hope, Flying Green. Thank you. But imagine this. Imagine somebody sends me $10. Imagine somebody sends me $10. It's like 10,000 shards of hope or something. TikTok takes $7. I mean, that is abusive. Okay, that is just ridiculous. You know. Hey, what's up, Invisible? So, but yeah, tap tap tap. You can help me with that on this begathon. I appreciate it. Maybe the algorithm can find somebody that can, you know, send me some cash and help me out, so I can say, "Hey, I tried my best." You know, tap tap. Yes, thank you, Flying Green. That's right. How you doing, Flying Green? What's going on? What's going on in your life, Flying Green? Haven't seen you in a bit. What's up, homie? All right. Well, I wait for your response because I know there's a little delay on TikTok.
Pooh, it's hard right now.
Like, what do you mean? Like, life is hard right now, or what? That's probably what you mean. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, like then the entire world is getting that way. It's one of the reasons that I'm getting my commercial driver's license so I can get a better job and I can, you know, hopefully improve my situation, just improve my life. Um, what's making your life so hard? Let's just, to me, it's mainly money. I noticed that most of my problems will go away if I just had like a decent job. But you know, different people could be different things. Um, I just found out a friend of mine has cancer.
Politics, job, GF, money a lot.
Politics, job, girlfriend, money. Well, you gotta pick one. You know, like if you were gonna patch up one of those, politics, job, girlfriend, money. If you were gonna pick one of those to solve, which one will you pick? Because a lot of the times, Flying Green, a lot of the times what happens is that it has a domino effect. Okay, it has a domino effect, and when you solve one problem, all the other problems, you know, they start falling in line. Have you thought about that? Have you thought what the root of your problems is, or like the most influential um the most influential problem that you have that you could solve that can solve the other problems? You know, like for example, if you have a really good, supportive girlfriend, you could probably get down the whole money thing and the job thing down. So with one solution, you solve 3 problems.
Politic is the biggest we pay too much tax.
Oh yeah? Oof. Man. How would I solve that problem? I think I would just try to do things cash only. I think I would try to like sell some stuff and just like stick with cash, or sell some stuff using crypto, like Monero or something. Just trying to get out, just get around that tax.
We are in the top 10 with tax.
Oof, damn. Well, there's another way to fight, high taxes, and that is find out and apply for every single benefit you can get your hands on. But the problem is that a lot of those programs are hidden. They're not advertised. You have to find them. So I would really do some research and try to get back a lot of that money that you're paying in, okay, in taxes. So that's another way to do it. Hey, what's up, Marcel? And J1, what's up, J1? Hey, J1, can you help me out? Tap the screen, please. Tap. This is a begathon. I'm trying to make $600 by the 27th. Anything helps. Even tap likes. Even positive comments on the chat. But flying green. Hey, what's up, Master of the Universe? So, but yeah, I would try to get the most benefits maximum possible, because you're giving away the tax, and then when you have a benefit, it's sort of like the money comes back to you. So that's another way. Another way is to have a sort of like under the table business. You can sell, I don't know, you can sell cookies or something for cash, and then you don't report that to the taxing authorities. And those are the only 2 ways that I know, really, to just get around tax without moving without moving from your country, of course. Let's see. Determine if the statements below are true or false. A driver should sign the driver's daily log only when the log is completed, has full remarks, and accurate information. True. Use the following text and images to answer the questions below. December, you are in Van Horn, Texas. A sleeper birds a new day, begins at midnight. You wake up at 2 a.m., eat breakfast. Remember, you have the authorization from your company to take meal breaks off duty. 2:35 a.m., you begin doing safety inspection on your vehicle. And bring your logbook up to date. Takes 15 minutes, and then you begin driving 121 miles, and you stop at Fort Stockton, Texas, 5:30, and spend 15 minutes making sure everything's still on your rig. You drive 141 miles, 8:30 a.m. You stop for 30 minutes to eat in Sonora. After lunch, you drive 150 miles to San Antonio, Texas, where you stop at noon and do a safety inspection on your rig. Takes 15 minutes, and then you drive the remaining 144 miles to Corpus Christi. You arrive at Corpus Christi, Texas at 3 p.m. You spend 30 minutes checking in, doing paperwork, and dropping your trailer at the dock. 3:30, you grab a bite and eat, take a shower. You climb into the sleeper for a well-deserved 5 p.m., remain there for the rest of the day. Okay. In reference to the image and text above, input the date required to fill out the driver's daily log. The format must be month, day, year. December 5th, 2023. Yeah. 05/12/2023. Okay. Next. In reference to the image text above, select the correct marking the driver should make when completing the driver's daily log. Let me see. Let me go back to the story. On December 5th, you are in the Van Horn, Texas, in the sleeper berth as a new day begins at midnight. You wake up at 2 a.m. Okay. Sleeper berth, which is basically the sleeper thing. Let me say. On duty, no. On duty, driving. Oh, he wants me to do from the 3rd. Okay, from 3 a.m. Let me go back to the story. Blah, blah, blah. 2:45. This takes 15 minutes. Okay, inspection and logbook. That takes 50. So 3 a.m. it starts here. And that is on duty, right? On duty. So it starts at the bottom, right here. This is 4:33. It's right here. 3:15 minutes. And then it goes to, let me see. Driving. No, it's not A. It's B. On duty. Hold on. On duty, then driving, then on duty, and then back to driving, and then he goes off duty for an hour. Okay, it's D. It's D. Okay. Tap, 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 tap. Tap the screen, please. Tap, 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 tap. Sorry for begging like this. It's a begathon. I'm supposed to be begging. Sorry. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Driver's daily log. Question. Reference to the image and the text above. Select the appropriate combination of tasks and total hours that the driver should write when completing the driver's daily log. Let's see. According to the image above, let's see, that's 2 hours. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sleep birth 9 hours. Driving 11. Let me double check. Driving, it's 11. Let me see. There's no driving here. On duty 1.5. Yeah, on duty right here. But it doesn't have driving. Hold on. Driving 9. Driving 9. Lou, I'm out looking for my girlfriend. It's not so good. She's crying. Okay, man. Hey, go take care of your girlfriend, bro. Thank you so much for dropping by and good luck, bro. I'm gonna check on you next time, okay? Okay. Total hours is 275. No, total hours is 240. Off duty is 2.75. So what's going to give me 24? Let's see, 9, this is 20, this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It looks like it's this one. But when it comes to driving, I don't see driving. Like, there's no line through driving. You know what I mean? There's no line through driving. And all the driving options have 9 hours, 11 hours. Select the appropriate combination of task and total hours that a driver should write when completing the driver's daily log. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one right here. Driver's daily log. In reference to the image and the text above, the select the appropriate combination of remarks that a driver should write when completing the driver's daily log. On A, okay, that's within 2 hours. We got to go back to the story. You wake up at 2 a.m. Okay, so that's Van Horn. A is Van Horn. Van Horn's not. Oh, there you go. Meal at Van Horn. There you go. Meal at Van Horn, Fork Stockton, and yeah, dropping Corpus Christi. That's right. Okay, so B. Hold on a second. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to save this image. I noticed that sometimes it happens like that. I got to go save the image so I can take a look. Okay. What's the question? Same image and text above. What is the correct amount of hours worked today? Total lines, 3 to 4 daily log for the box marked A in row 9. A, row 9. Oh, A. Wait, hold on a second. This is a row. A row is row number 9. It's A, okay. Let's see. Hours worked today. Total lines, 3 to 4 daily log. Let's see. Last 7 days of preceding month. Day of month. 9th. Okay. Yeah, that is a 9th. Okay. So it wants me to select what's in A. In reference to the same image and text above, what is the correct amount of hours worked today? That is total hours worked today. Total. Well, that's 24. But there's no 24 here. Oh, wait a minute. That's a total activity hours. How many hours did he work? It's not the birth. It's not the birth right here. Off duty, on duty, he worked 1 hour. Yeah, he just worked 1 hour 15 minutes. This is sleeping. This is off duty. 1 hour 15 minutes. Oh my God! It says 12. Oh Jesus! I'm running out of time. Maybe it's not the same. You know. Wake up. Begin doing the safety inspection. 2:45. 2:45. This is 3 hours. 3 hours 45 minutes. 4 hours. 4 hours 15 minutes. 4 hours 30 minutes. 7 hours 30 minutes. 8 hours. He stopped. 8 hours. 11 hours. I'm gonna put 12 hours because I'm running out of time. Ooh, it has multiple 12 hours. This is a trap. I hate when they do this. I hate when they do this, though. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna have to redo it again, dude. 2:45 to 3. It's 2:45 to 3. 3 to 5. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. 45, 3 hours. Six hours. 6 hours and 45 minutes. 6:45. 9:45. 10 hours. 'Dude, I'm not getting it. I got something here that's missing. I'm just gonna guess. 2.5, 12.50, 12.75. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna put in. In reference to the same image above, that is corrected amount of total hours on duty the last 7 days for the Marksparks B. Total hours on duty last 7 days. What is the correct month to write in the month field of the monthly sheet? As E? Where's E at? Oh, okay.
Lou, I am out looking for my GF is not so good. She is crying, so CYA next time.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thanks.
You take care of her. Go take care of your girl. Absolutely. December. That's December. Total hours on doing the last 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't understand why this is 56. You have 8, 16, 24, 24, 36, 37, 37, 41, 46, 46, 50, 50, 62. Hours worked today. Okay. Hours available tomorrow. Okay, so this is 56, 66, 69, 69, 70. So you can't pass 70 hours. Total hours on duty last 8 days. And these are the last 8 days right here. Total hours on duty. Okay. So he worked one more day. Hours worked today. 3 to 4 daily log. What do you? I don't understand what it means by 3 to 4 daily log. What does that mean? 3 to 4 daily log. Hey, Gemini, I'm taking a test here for CDL. I have a question on filling up the monthly log. The question says, in reference to the same image and the text above, what is the correct amount of hours worked today, total lines, 3 to 4 daily log for the box marked A in row 9? I don't understand what they mean by 3 to 4 daily log. And then when I look at the sheet, the column says the same thing. Hours worked today, parenthesis, total lines, and then it says 3 to 4 daily log. What do they mean by 3 to 4 daily log?
Lines 3 to 4 refers to the specific rows on a paper driver's daily log sheet, where you record working time. A standard DOT paper log grid is divided into 4 numbered horizontal lines. Line 1, off duty. Line 2, sleeper berth. Line 3, driving.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's that thing that has the graph, and it has like 4 rows: off duties, berth, driving, on duty.
Exactly.
Hey, and what do they call it a berth and not a bed? Like what the hell is a berth? I mean, it's a bed. Why can't they just call it berth, like a bed, instead of using this weird ass word?
The word berth comes from old maritime history, long before semi-trucks existed.
Okay. All right then. Let's. I have to reset the attempt. Oh my god, I passed. I guess, and I passed. Yeah, it's D. Sleeping berth. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yep. Meal. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna continue. That was a lucky shot, and I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take the win and go on. I got a lot of ground to cover.
From delivery receipts to expense reports, cargo documentation is simply the paperwork needed for every shipment of freight. Not many people like doing paperwork, but there is a saying that is as true as it is old: the job is not finished until the paperwork is done. Today's professional truck drivers must do their paperwork, and they must do it precisely and accurately. From logbooks to bills of lading to trip reports, you must learn them all. And, it's really not as bad as it might sound. In this chapter, you'll learn what's involved.
If you want to help me, this is my first begathon. If you don't have any money, please tap. I need lots of likes. You can share and click on story. You can click on share and click on repost. You can post positive messages in the chat and help me out. I had to use $600 from my CDL class money for an emergency, and now I have until the 27th to patch it up. So I decided to do a begathon. Never done a begathon before, but I need to do everything possible. I need to say, hey, I did everything possible. Okay, so if you don't have any money, tap. That'll be great. Thank you.
are 4 different kinds of bills you will work with as a driver. The bill of lading, the freight bill, the way bill, the manifest. The bill of lading. This is basically a contract between the trucking company and the shipper. The shipper says what the load is, what it weighs, and where it is going. The trucking company promises to deliver it in good condition to its destination. Every interstate shipment of freight by a common carrier is covered by a bill of lading and its conditions. A common carrier of goods must comply with the conditions. The shipper and the consignee must obey them as well. When it's filled out and signed, the bill of lading is a legal and binding contract. It's a contract between the owner of the shipment and the carrier. Its legal name is the Uniform Domestic Freight Bill of Lading. Created by an act of the U.S. Congress a long time ago, it covers interstate shipments by railroads and barge lines as well as trucks. There is also an order bill of lading and an export-import bill of lading, but most truck drivers see only the most used straight bill of lading. For short, it's called a bill of lading. Its abbreviation is BL. When you arrive at a shipper's dock, you'll be shown a bill of lading. It may be the long form with all the conditions and rules printed on the back, but most likely it will be the short form. The BL shows to whom the shipment is going, the consignee, the destination, the city or town, and the delivery address. The shipper fills out the date, the shipping number, and the company name and complete address. The shipper also fills in the spaces to show if the freight charges are collect or prepaid. In most cases, the carrier bills the shipper for the freight charges. If the space or box collect on delivery is filled in by the shipper, then the carrier must collect the amount of money shown. This is also called a cash on delivery or COD, and the money must be paid to the carrier upon delivery of the shipment. In other words, you must collect the money when the shipment is unloaded. If you must deliver a COD shipment, talk to your dispatcher first to find out what to do when you collect the money. The BL shows the number of pieces being shipped. The shipper fills in the first column under number of packages. For instance, this column might show 22 pallets of 880 cartons or 880 cartons on 22 pallets. Next is the description of the contents of the cartons, special marks, and exceptions. Then comes the weight column. It reads, weight, subject to correction. This means the carrier can weigh the load and change the shipper's weight. The carrier needs a scale ticket and a weight correction certificate to prove a different weight. The back of the BL contract has all the conditions and rules. When the truck is loaded, you will affix a pro number to the BL. You will also be asked to sign the BL. Once it has been signed, the shipper keeps the original and you take 2 other copies with you. One copy, called the shipping order, is for your carrier's records. The memorandum copy is for the consignee. No freight charges show on the bill of lading. The BL cannot be changed once it is signed. A corrected bill of lading must be issued if there is an error. This is federal law. Signing a BL is like signing any other contract. You cannot state at a later time that you did not read it or understand what it said. The BL becomes a binding contract between the owner of the goods, the carrier, and you, because you are acting as the carrier's agent. Smart drivers treat the BL with the same care as a large personal check. It is very important to be sure the BL is accurate when you sign it, because when you do, you are saying, I accept the count and description on the BL as given to me. In other words, you signed for the exact count. If for some reason you are unable to count the load, you must write alongside your signature that the load is the shipper's count. Making sure of the count is very important. And, it's your responsibility. If the difference in a count is just a couple of cans of soup, it wouldn't cost you much. However, if the difference is half a dozen TVs, you'll be in the soup. Also, a smart driver will always weigh the load before starting a trip. The BL may say 48,000 pounds and you know you can haul that legally. But a 5% error on a 48,000 pound load may be a 2,400 pound overload for the truck driver. That can mean a fine of $250 or more. The shipper will not pay the fine. The overload ticket will be written against the driver. Who do you think pays the fine?
Gotta watch out, for people's shenanigans. A lot of shenanigans out there. Which of the following is not found on the bill of lading? All the expenses made by the driver while hauling the load. Yep. Correct.
The freight bill. The freight bill is more like an invoice. Information on the bill of lading is used to prepare the freight bill. So, the freight bill has much the same information that the bill of lading has, but it also includes the freight charges. These freight charges are the price the shipper must pay to have cargo shipped by the trucking company. When you turn in the BL copy to your office, it is sent to the rate department. The rate department assigns the correct rate to the shipment from a tariff, or rate book. All the charges are figured from the BL. These charges may be for extra deliveries, collection, or special services and can include cooling or heating the load. After a rate auditor checks for errors, the BL is sent to the billing department where a freight bill is typed, or generated by a computer. The freight bill has all the information contained on the BL and more. It shows all charges, the trailer number, the origin and destination terminals, any additional information the driver needs, such as special instructions for handling or delivering the load. The freight bill may have as many as 15 copies. Copies will go to sales, traffic, customer service, operations, accounting, and many other departments at the carrier's main office. If you must collect freight charges or a COD amount, you'll have the original freight bill and 2 more copies. These copies show that the consignee paid the COD. Write on the copies whether the charges were paid by cash or check. Once you're paid, date the copies and sign them. Then give the original freight bill to the consignee. After unloading the shipment, the consignee signs the delivery receipt in a space that states the shipment was received in good order. You sign it too, noting the number of pieces delivered and the date. The consignee gets the consignee copy and you keep the delivery receipt. Both copies should have exactly the same information on them.
Hi bro. Anyone donated yet? Muted.
Hey, Footy, what's up? Yeah, somebody sent me some gifts, but I found out that TikTok takes 70% of the gifts. So if somebody sends me $10, they're gonna take $7. This app has gone worse since Oracle took over. The Chinese run this app much better. They were only taking 30%. Anyway, I have one of my regulars take my Cash App, and he said he was going to send me some money later. So, and I'm only doing this. I know you're probably going to freak out or something. I'm only doing this because I'm streaming the study for a possibility of raising money with the Begathon. So that's, that was my whole logic behind it. But look, I'm on 27. And look at that. 36. That means 9 more. I'm almost there.
The waybill. A waybill is used to deliver split shipments or to deliver a shipment before the charges have been applied. A shipper has 5,000
Then you can go work.
Yeah, so what I did was I canceled with TW Stagehands after that conversation we had, just to show you that I do listen. So I canceled. I almost didn't, because when you give advice in the form of nagging, it makes me just not want to do it. Okay, just so you know. So if you want me to listen to you, you gotta do it in a non-nagging way. Anyway, so I canceled because I can swap out that day for a red cap day and make $100. So I decided to do that. I thought it was early enough. You know, today is Tuesday, so he should be able to replace me comfortably. Okay. Also, if you want to help me out, and I know that you already done a whole lot, but you can just tap the screen, tap, tap, tap.
Good. Do red cap every day.
Tap, tap, tap the screen for likes. Okay, just tap, tap, tap. And that would help me. That will give me algorithm points, so the algorithm can promote the stream, and somebody else can come in that hopefully can contribute towards the begathon. So if you guys have no money, that's okay. You can help in other ways. So far I've made 6 cents thanks to TikTok abusive algorithm. But yeah, tap, tap, tap. All right, let's continue. I want to kill this today. If I can just finish today, that'd be
going
great.
to one customer.
But
Each
why would
carton
you
weighs
want
45
PPL to
pounds.
donate if TikTok takes away 70%?
I don't. I'm warning. I'm now warning people not to send gifts. Okay, instead to send Cash App. That's what I'm advising people. But there's a lot of viewers that are not in the United States and they don't have Cash App available to them. You know, so I'll take their gifts. You know, like I had somebody here. You know, they dropped 20 cents, and you know, they were in Croatia, so I'll just take it as I can. So, but yeah, tap, 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 tap. This is my first begathon. I've never done a begathon before, but begathons are a normal part of streaming culture. Okay, so if you want to get the kids also to join and tap, 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 okay, that will help me quite a lot. So usually I don't beg, but this is a begathon. Usually I don't do this for clout. It's 52 hertz transmission, but not today. So the thing is, I need to be able to say I did everything possible to come up with 600 that I'm missing for the school. I have to be able to tell that to myself, okay? And if I have to suffer the indignity of begging, then so be it. So if anything else, tap, 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 okay? You know, you can go do other stuff and just like leave your thumb just tapping on the screen, okay? I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is enough to make 5 loads, each 45,000 pounds. So, the shipper splits the shipment, but makes one bill of lading to earn a lower shipping rate. As a rule, the larger a shipment is, the lower the rate. The carrier types 5 waybills in one freight bill. Each waybill shows the number of cartons, the weight, and the trailer number or the trip number. The freight bill shows all the information from the bill of lading and all the freight charges. Each load is delivered on a waybill. A waybill set consists of a delivery receipt, consignee copy, and a memo or extra copy. No freight charges show on the waybill. The delivery receipt and consignee copy are signed and dated the same way freight bills are. Bring the delivery receipt and any extra copies back to your dispatcher. Back to your dispatcher. The manifest. A manifest is used when there is cargo from more than one shipper in your trailer. It lists all the cargo in the load. It shows the number of pieces and the weight for each shipment. If there is a pro number or a shipper's number, they are listed as well. A pro number is a special number used to identify the load. A brief description of the freight and packaging is included. The manifest heading shows the carrier's name and the owner-operator or the driver's name. There is space for the date and the truck equipment numbers.
One thing I don't understand is like if you're supposed to count this cargo and you can have multiple clients, multiple shippers in one cargo trailer, how are you supposed to count them? Because if you pack your stuff and then a second person packs their stuff, right? And maybe like a third person packs their stuff, and I'm supposed to count what each person has. Well, I can't get to the person that packed it at first because his stuff is buried. So all these are questions that I have for my instructor. Like once we start the actual physical trucking class. These are questions that I have for him.
Figure 27.3 shows a brief example. Just about every carrier uses a different format for the manifest. Some show the freight charges. Some show the origin city and the destination city. But, simply put, a manifest is a document that lists the cargo that is being carried. Pronumbers. Pronumbers are the numbers assigned to freight bills and waybills. The name is taken from Progressive Freight Bill Numbering System. This means an advancing set of numbers given to freight or waybills. Just like the pages in a book, the numbers go from 1 to 2 to 3, and so forth. A carrier's Atlanta, Georgia, terminal might start the new year, 2004, by numbering the first freight bill cut like this, ATL 400000001. ATL is for Atlanta. 4 is the last digit of the year, 2004. 000001 is the first bill cut in 2004. The next freight bill is numbered ATL 400000002. In a few months, the numbers might be ATL 433577749. The next year they would start with ATL 500000001. This makes it easy to keep track of shipments and paperwork. Delivery receipts can be filed in numerical order, keeping each year separate. Carriers refer to their freight bills often. Shippers and consignees send in freight claims for loss and damage months after a delivery. Disputes about freight charges can result in overcharge claims a year or two later. Pronumbers allow the freight bills to be filed in order, day after day. They can easily be pulled from the file to settle claims and disputes.
I don't even know why they have to put all those zeros. Okay, just skip the zeros. Just skip the zeros. Just make it 1. Because a 0 means nothing anyway. It represents nothing.
The delivery receipt. The delivery receipt copy of the freight or waybill set has a lot of value to the carrier. It is so valuable that it's usually filed in a room that can be entered only by employees. This document can be used to prove that a shipment was delivered to the correct consignee. It shows the name of the person who received the shipment, the name of the truck driver who delivered it, if the charges were paid at the time of delivery, if there were any exceptions at time of delivery, the date and the time of the delivery, the truck or trailer number, the shipper's number. Salespeople use delivery receipts to prove good service in their efforts to secure more business from shippers. The delivery receipts document on-time delivery and good service. Both the traffic and cargo claims and the maintenance and safety departments also use the delivery receipt. They may have to find out what happened to a trailer or a tractor on a certain day. For instance, they may need to find out how it was damaged. The delivery receipt will give them this information and tell who the driver was, too. If there is any damage or shortage, it must be noted and signed by the driver and the consignee on the delivery receipt and the consignee copy. Be very careful that you describe the damage or shortage exactly. Do not simply write that 10 cartons are damaged. State exactly how they are damaged. Shortages must show what is short. 5 cartons short is not enough to protect the carrier. Suppose the load consists of large color TV sets and wood stands or carts for the sets. What is short, the TV sets or the wood stands? Carriers also do not want drivers to deliver overages. An overage is when there are more pieces to deliver than what the freight bill or BL calls for. Usually an overage is part of someone else's shipment that got loaded in error. Most carriers have a rule stating the driver must call the dispatcher before accepting an exception to a clear delivery, without loss or damage. Once a delivery receipt is signed by both parties, you should treat it like gold. It might have more value than gold someday. The trip report. Although trip report is the most common name for this document, it's also sometimes called a trip record, trip register, or mileage report. The document may have different names, but the data that is noted is pretty much the same. The trip report shows all the important facts about a trip, including date and place the trip began, the driver's name, truck equipment numbers, beginning and ending odometer reading, each state entered or crossed, odometer readings each time a state is entered, amount of money advanced to the driver for expenses, fuel purchases, where the fuel was purchased, the amount, and the cost. Figure 27.4 shows a sample trip report. Trip reports can also be generated automatically by onboard computers. This is covered in greater detail in Chapter 11. Cost control is a big factor in the trucking industry. Your carrier strives to keep track of the number of miles its trucks travel, both loaded and empty miles. By using trip reports, carriers can figure the cost per mile and the cost per shipment. They can also figure which tractors cost less to operate and which break down more often. A trip report shows all the money paid out for a trip. It also shows money advanced to the driver. This is money given to you before you leave on a trip or sent to you while you're on the road. Advances are routinely wired to truck stops where they can be received by drivers who run out of cash. By listing all money received and all money paid out, the expense report helps the carrier keep track of the costs for each trip. To figure their costs accurately, carriers need a complete expense report. They must know if they are making a profit or taking
Hey, what's up, Klamath?
a loss. By reading expense reports for many trips, they can see where the money is going. Is the tractor using
Sup,
too much
dude?
fuel? Are there too many?
Not much, just doing my first ever begathon. Hey, if you don't have any money, tap the screen, give me some likes, and hopefully I'll get enough algorithm points to somebody can stumble upon that does have money. I had to use $600 of my CDL money, my trucking school money, for an emergency, so now I'm trying to make it up. So you don't have to. I'm just saying, I would appreciate
Got it.
everything. Yeah. I don't stream for clout, okay, but if I'm gonna do a begathon, I'm gonna have to go through the indignity of begging. So I'm begging for help. Yeah, so if not money, likes. So, and that will be good enough.
Many repair bills, with resulting downtime? Are meal and motel expenses higher than necessary? Expense reports show repairs, long-distance phone calls, protective clothing purchases, and more. The carrier also wants to know how many miles were driven in each state. That is why you enter the odometer reading each time you enter a state. Each state has a fuel tax that must be paid. All states demand that a fuel tax be paid even if fuel is not purchased in their state. The number of miles driven in a state determines the amount of fuel tax that state must be paid.
Do you hear that? Isn't that some bullshit? So you go to a state, and you have to pay according to how much you travel in there as part of a fuel tax, even if you don't buy fuel there. Isn't that some bullshit, huh?
You may hear the term IFTA, which means International Fuel Tax Agreement, or the term
Don't go to
RFTA,
California.
which stands.
Yeah, I bet California's really bad. Well, I don't plan to be a over-the-road driver. I don't plan to do that. I plan to stay in the Permian Basin, sort of like in the oil field, doing oil field stuff. But once I don't know, man. Once I pass my license, if I wanted to, I could. You know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could. You can just live in the truck, go over the road. Have like a little girlfriend.
Yeah, that's good. I
Yeah.
just paid 6.45 a gallon for gas today.
Where at? What state? California?
California.
Damn, dude. Jeez. I mean, like, I know California's nice, has like nice weather, but I mean, is it really worth it? Like, I see a lot of people doing a lot of sacrifices just for the environment. Like the weather's nice and they got giant trees, and you know what I mean. Like, it is beautiful. But man, they just that price to live in the nice place keeps going up. Man. But anyway, so yeah, over the road you can have a girlfriend, okay, right there. She can help you. She can be your spotter and stuff. You have a bed right there, like a little cabin. And if you get the right girl, you don't gotta, you don't have to have a house or nothing. You can just like nomad style. But my plan is not to do that, the over the road stuff. I heard too many bad things about it. I heard too many bad things, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of carriers doing, trying to, nickel and dime you. And this is one example of that. IFTA, fuel tax agreement. What a bunch of bullshit, huh? You gotta pay tax. You gotta pay fuel tax, even though you don't buy fuel in that state.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. No, I plan to stay on the oil field. But who knows? Nomad style kind of sounds nice. Maybe if I buy my own truck, maybe that's the only way that I would do it. If I buy my own truck and I pay if I buy my own truck, and I find the right girl, yeah, maybe. Sounds exciting. Who knows?
Stands for Regional Fuel Tax Agreement. Your carrier's trucks may be registered in one of the states that participate in those agreements. These agreements were established to simplify the way carriers pay taxes. Carriers configure pay from the trip report, too. You should keep a copy of every trip report. By doing this, you can be sure you're getting paid the correct amount.
Here we go. It's quiz time. I got. Shoot. How many do I have? I have like 6 more lessons after this. I want to kill it tonight, dude. I want to kill it tonight. This makes it easy to keep track of shipments and paperwork. If there's a fine for an overload of freight, this person must pay it, the driver. I mean, they were talking about here that when you accept a contract, that you gotta read the whole contract because they put like little bullshits in there, to just to try to get you. You know what I mean? So just a lot of shenanigans. If I find myself in that situation, I'm just gonna feed the contract to an AI. Be like, hey, can you look for any sus things in here?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I know that AIs can be dumb on certain things. And I think it depends on what you have the AI do. The problem is that they program these AIs to lie, to always have like a positive answer, like to kiss your ass. They don't program the AI to sort of like have the spine to push back, saying no, that's a stupid idea, or you know, or yeah, you do look fat. You know what I mean? Like they don't program the AI with that.
Yeah, they do that cause who wants to use an AI that doesn't glaze you.
I want to use an AI that doesn't glaze me. Are you kidding me? If I could have an AI that tells me, yeah, you look fat, you should do this and this and that. I mean, that would be, I would pay money for that AI. Okay? I would pay money for that AI. I mean, I'm not talking about, having my own Samuel Cowell. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like fair, honest criticism with solutions. Okay, kind of like have that sweet spot.
Most chatbots are good for word processing, though.
Yeah. Like I said, it all depends on the task, and when it comes to contracts, you can do that. And also, one trick that I've noticed with AI, if you're not sure, because sometimes you know something, and then you can ask them something that you already know, and then you'll see that they're wrong or they're lying to you. Like you gotta shed test your AI, same way that you gotta shed test people in your life. So the trick is this: if you don't know the answer and you ask the AI something, and they tell you, but you shed tested in the past, and you know that it can be wrong or it's lying, but because you don't know if that's what the AI is doing to you. This is what you do: you tell them, you pretend that you already know the answer, okay? And when you pretend you already know the answer, they'll get caught. They'll act like they're caught, and then they'll actually go and do the research and get you the real answer. Okay, so that's a trick that's worked with ChatGPT and also with Gemini. So this is so valuable that it's usually filled in a room and can be entered by employees. It's the delivery receipt. It's used to deliver split shipments. Manifest. No, man, it's the manifest. That's horseshit, dude. I hate this fucking little traps that they put in these tests. Used to deliver split shipments or to deliver a shipment before charges have been applied. I thought it was manifest. I don't know. I mean, what did I answer already? Delivery receipt? Freight bill, maybe? The freight bill includes all the charges which are figured from this. The way bill. So maybe this is not that. Maybe this is this used to deliver split shipments or deliver a shipment before the charges have been applied. I mean, maybe the bill of lading, because the bill of lading describes the shipment, the count, and how much it is, you know. Select the appropriate answer, choice, blah, blah, blah. Okay, which of the following is a legal and binding contract? The bill of lading. You know what? That's why I think this is bill of lading, because it says to deliver a shipment before charges have been applied. So one of the first things that you do, the first document that goes out is a bill of lading. So that's before charges have been applied. That's what I'm thinking anyway. 2 documents that help drivers and carriers keep track of costs are what? Trip report, expense report, and trip report. There you go. If a shipment is prepaid, you must collect the money before the shipment is unloaded. Yeah, I would say so. If this is false, this is bullshit. Okay? How are you going to give up your leverage? How are you going to like unload and then, you know, the receiver can say, "Oh, sorry, I don't have the money. Sorry." Is there any damage or shortage? If there's any damage or shortage, it must be noted and signed by the driver and consignee of the delivery receipt and the consignee copy, but you don't need to worry about the overage. False. Overage? What's overage? Is that the cost? The cost, the loss value? Gonna ask AI. See, I could use AI to cheat, but I need to know this, you know, because the physical trucking school, you know, you need to know. Hey, Gemini.
Yeah.
Hey, Gemini. I have a question here, and I need a clarification. The question says, if there is any damage or shortage, it must be noted and signed by the driver and consignee on the delivery receipt and the consignee copy. But you don't need to worry about the overage. My question is, what is overage? Only answer that question. Don't answer anything else. I just want to know if you understand, or if you can do some research to understand what they mean by overage. Overage.
An overage occurs when a freight shipment contains more goods or items than what was listed on the official shipping map.
Okay, yeah. I remember. It's like, you know, if the lading, what's it called? The lading bill of lading. If the bill of lading says like, I don't know, 100 TVs, and you find that there's like 110 TVs, you have 10 of overage. So yeah, you do need to worry about overage, but you don't need to worry about overage. False. You do need to worry about overage because you're the one that's supposed to be counting the load, the cargo. Just about every carrier uses a different format for their manifest. True. All right, here we go, guys. What do you think? I'm taking bets. You think I got it right? Here we go. Here we go. Let me put it on Polymarket. Start dropping your dollars now. Oh, here we go. I think I did well. I think I passed. No, I didn't pass. What happened? This issue to delivery split shipments to deliver shipment before. Oh my god, my logic was completely wrong on this. Freight bill inclusive of the charges. Oh my god, I got these two wrong, 4 and 5. What else? If a shipment is prepaid, you must collect the money before the shipment is unloaded. Really? Dude. That is so fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? You're saying that I'm going to arrive at location and I have an order, like a COD order, cash on deliver order, okay? And they owe me like $10,000 or whatever. And I'm going to sit there, I'm going to bother to unload first and then charge them later? Are you fucking kidding me? This shit makes no sense, bro. Only this one. The other ones,
Sounds good to me.
well, because the thing is that the receiver has the leverage. The receiver has the leverage. Why would you like unload if they don't have the money? But okay, that's what they want. Okay, let's do it again. The driver. Let me put this up. True. If the shipment is prepaid, you must collect the money. False. Oh my god. Okay. 2 documents, expense report and trip report. Legal binding contract, bill of lading. Okay, this is my big problem right here. They're so valuable. Okay, the delivery. Delivery receipt. Okay, these two. This used to deliver split shipments or to deliver a shipment before the charges have been applied. And I thought it was manifest. It's not manifest. It's not freight bill. It's not delivery receipt. It's not bill of lading. I mean, it could be bill of lading. I don't know. It's not this. No, I put bill of lading last time. All right, I'm going to put way bill. I don't know. A freight bill includes all the charges which are figured from this. Expense report? I don't fucking know, dude. I'm coming up blank. I got nothing. I got those two wrong again. This is used to deliver split shipments and to deliver a shipment before the charges have been applied. Is the way bill? Really? See, one thing that I don't like is that I can't click on it and it tells me which one is correct so I can learn. You know what I mean? I got to take the whole thing. Oh, this one was false. You know what? I'm going to take it again. I know my instructor is going to see. My instructor sees this. Like, if I take the quiz 50 times, you know, she's going to see it. Pro numbers. There's a fine overload fry. Merson Puse is a driver. So valuable, the delivery receipt. I guess it's the way bill. That's what I learned today. Legal binding contract, bill of lading. 2 documents help expense report and a trip report. You must collect the money before shipment is unloaded. I guess it's false, just because I guess people are suckers, I guess. Oh, thanks for unloading that. Something happened. I had the money and I don't have the money anymore. Can I pay you on Tuesday for the money? But you don't need to worry about false. You gotta worry about the thing because you see. I had this one right and then I got it wrong. So you're supposed to be the one that counts the delivery, and if there's extra, you're supposed to catch it before you deliver it. Okay. Freight bills includes all the charges which are figured from this. Okay, it's not way bill. It's not expense report. It's a bill of lading. I suspect it's bill of lading. It can't be pro numbers because pro numbers is just like a code that they give different documents to keep track of them. So it could be bill of lading again. I mean, I don't have to do this because I already passed, but I'm just curious because I want to learn. I don't want to get out there and be a dumbass, you know. Oh, this guy's a dumbass. There we go. It was a bill of lading. The freight bill includes all the charges which are figured from the bill of lading, huh? Okay. That's good to know. And the way bill can do split shipments or deliver shipment before the charges have been applied. Okay. And I guess give away your leverage by unloading before you get paid. That's lovely. All right. Next. All right, then. See, but she'll see that I passed it and then I tried harder. She's going to see that. So. Oh, my God. 28. I have 30. I have 5. And I think this one's a 6th one. This one right here, I think this is a 6th one. I don't know. So I have like 7 more.
Well, it's a contract, so they have to pay or else they'll get in legal trouble.
Yeah, but the thing is that, you know, you've never heard a lawyer say that ownership is 9/10 of the law. That means that you don't depend on the legal system if you have leverage. Like if you have the keys to the house, okay, then you don't need to bother with, you know, like an eviction notice. Okay, you don't need to bother because you got the keys. You know, like the hotels don't need to bother when they kick someone out. All right, let's continue.
The responsibilities of the drivers. Like the captain of a ship or the pilot of an airplane, you will be responsible for the truck you drive. No matter who loads a trailer, the driver is responsible for the condition of the cargo. Not only must you make inspections to ensure your truck is safe and road ready, you must also periodically check the cargo to be sure it is secure, within legal weight limits, and properly balanced. The only exception to this is when the trailer is sealed. Here is what the Department of Transportation says about those responsibilities in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations Part 392.9. No person shall drive a motor vehicle, and a motor carrier shall not require or permit a person to drive a motor vehicle unless the vehicle's cargo is properly distributed and adequately secured.
You know what I really hate? I really hate these little like number regulations. Okay? According to Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulation Part 392.9, I fucking hate that because it pops up in these quizzes, okay? And it's just like, you know, like they expect you to drop like parts of the regulation manual, like you drop like Bible verses and stuff, like John 3:16. You
in
know?
one ear and out the other.
I know, it's just like, pff. But I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that number 392.9 because I hate when tests try to trick you. Okay, it's like, what is this bullshit? I thought you were supposed to teach. Okay, make me learn something, not to like trick me, like, haha, you failed. You know, I fucking hate that attitude.
The vehicle's tailgate, tailboard, doors, tarps, spare tire, and other equipment used in its operation and the means of fastening the vehicle's cargo are secured, and the vehicle's cargo or any other object doesn't obscure the driver's view ahead or to the right or left sides, interfere with the free movement of his arms or legs, prevent his free and ready access to accessories required for emergencies, or prevent the free and ready exit of any person from the vehicle's cab or driver's compartment. Avoiding accidents that result from improper loading and securing is a big responsibility placed upon the driver. It will affect your daily SO study FMCSR parts 392.9 and 393.100 through 393.136 until you know all the details about your responsibilities. For example, 393.100 protection against shifting or falling cargo. 393.102 securement systems. 393.104 blocking and bracing. 393.106 front-end structure. 393.110 minimum number of tie-down.
AKA, you can summarize all those numbers, all those regulation numbers by just saying, don't be a dumbass.
You'll have to answer questions about cargo safety to get your
Hold on a second. I'm going to put that clip up. I'm going to put that clip up in order to attract more people. Hey, Klamath, don't get lazy. This is a begathon. Come on. Tap, tap, tap. Like. Let's go. You want to be a peep? You don't want to be a poop? Tap, tap, tap. Help me out. Okay. Thank you. Now, you don't have to send gifts. I will say you don't have to send gifts. TikTok takes 70% of the gifts, by the way. So far I made like 18 cents. Okay. From those 18 cents, TikTok's going to send me 6 cents. Okay. The Chinese were better at running this app. They were only taking 30%. Oracle took over, and Oracle is run by the people that say that they're super special, if you know who they are.
Oh, laugh cry.
Okay, if you know who they are. Now, if you want to send me money, I have a Cash App, and I'll put my Cash App in the chat, and then you can send me money that way. But absent that, tap, tap, tap. You know, tap, 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 and put positive comments in the chat. And that would help me get algorithm points. Hold on, I'm gonna put up a clip here. Hold on. Actually, I did make 2 clips. But I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that number, 3 verses and stuff like John 3:16.
One ear and out the other.
I know, it's just like I hate that TikTok puts these dumbass sounds, and the sounds don't even match, dude. See, the sounds don't even match.
One ear and out the other.
Let's see. Hold on. What is this bullshit? I thought you were supposed to teach. Okay.
Spare tire and other equipment.
You know, I fucking hate that attitude.
Vehicles, tailgate, tailboard, doors, tarps, spare tire, and other equipment used in its operation and the means of fastening the vehicle's cargo are secured. The vehicle's cargo or any other object doesn't obscure the driver's view ahead or to the right or left sides, interfere with the free movement of his arms or legs, prevent his free and ready access to accessories required for emergencies, or prevent the free and ready exit of any person from the vehicle's cab or driver's.
So you gotta post clips while you're live, because the clips will attract new people coming in, and you get algorithm points from TikTok.
Avoiding accidents that result from improper loading and securing is a big responsibility placed upon the driver. It will affect your daily SO study FMCSR parts 392.9. Your daily SO study FM.
You gotta do some engagement bait.
I mean, I was doing the Warframe thing. That was really fun. That was really funny. You know.
Infection Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.9 and 393.100 through 393.136 until you know all the details about your responsibilities. For example,
CDL is Warframe 2 IRL.
Zero protection against shifting or falling cargo.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. If I buy my own truck, I'm basically a mercenary. I'll have like clients and stuff, and I'll have like dispatchers. You know, because what's the Lotus? The Lotus is just a dispatcher. What's Konzu? When Konzu sends you out, he's just a dispatcher. He's just, your client. You know what I mean? Okay, but basically, it's that sort of like mercenary vibe. But you gotta have your own truck. You know.
Yeah.
393.102 Securement Systems. 393.104 Blocking and Bracing. 393.106 Front-End Structure. 393.110 Minimum Number of Tie-Down.
AKA, you can summarize all those numbers, all those regulation numbers by just saying, don't be a dumbass. There you go. I can go ahead and post that.
Infection Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.9 and 300.
Man, the TikTok UI is like pure white, so if you have white in your video, you're gonna miss half the UI on the right side. Like you're not gonna see anything. You know what? I'm gonna deploy it just like that. Hashtag CDL. Hashtag CDL. School. CDL. Yep. CDL student. Also, have you noticed that TikTok, when it comes to loading videos, it's no problem, right? But when it's trying to like load like text, it's just like it takes forever. I don't get it. I thought that text was, not as heavy. Post it, man. TikTok is also really slow, man.
Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.9 and 390.
Also very, very slow. Alright guys, listen.
Infection Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.9 and 393.100 through 393.136 until you know all the details about Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.
What was the other clip? Appeal not approved. Well, fuck you too, TikTok. How's that? Okay. How about F you too, huh? I had another clip. What was it? tried to trick you
to securement systems.
from the AI with that.
Yeah, they do that.
This is what you do. You tell them, you pretend that you already know the answer. Oh, okay. This is the AI tip. And when you pretend you already know the answer, they'll get caught. They'll act like they're caught, and then they'll actually go and do the research and get you the real answer. Yeah, I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, they do that. Claus who wants to use an AI that doesn't please you.
I want to use an AI that doesn't. From the AI with that.
Yeah, they do that. Claus who wants to use an AI that doesn't please you.
I want to use an AI that doesn't please me. Are you kidding me? If I could have an AI that tells me, yeah, you look fat, you should do this and this and that. I mean, that would be. I would pay money for that from the AI with that.
Yeah, they do that. Claus who wants to use an AI that doesn't please you.
Let me put some captions on this. Put a little hashtag and send that out. Is Clamout still here? I don't know. I'm not seeing any tapping. I'd rather take the likes than the gifts. You know, fuck giving TikTok 70%. Are you kidding me? What happened?
Israel launched a new campaign to influence how AI assistants like ChatGPT answer questions.
I didn't even ask for that.
It seems to be working. Look what happens when I ask ChatGPT. How often do headlines about Gaza describe a violent event without naming who did it?
Edit.
This data report.
I didn't even ask that, dude. I want to use an AI that doesn't please me. What happened to my captions? This is so fucking annoying, dude. And get rid of the fucking sound.
Yeah, they do that. Claus who wants to use an AI that doesn't please you. Yeah, they do that. Claus who wants to use an AI that doesn't please you.
I want to use an AI that doesn't. Jesus. These captions are all whacked out, though. Captions. Why are the captions all messed up? You know what? Just get rid of them. Just get rid of the captions, okay? No captions. Now I have a ton of captions. What in the holy bug? Dude, I got like 10,000 captions now. All the captions decided to show up at the same time. Now I have to sit here and clean them up because it's a TikTok bug. There you go, I fixed it. I'm not gonna do captions, fuck them. Hashtag AI. Hashtag ChatGPT. There you go. Send it. Send it out.
The only way Phil Wise.
Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 392.9 and 393.9.
Did I put this as my story already? No, I didn't.
Until you know all the
I didn't put it as my story. There you go.
Daily So Study FMCSR Parts 390.
There you go. Okay. Good, good. Let's continue. That was a nice little break.
CDL. The other major reason for proper load securement is the prevention of damage claims against the carrier. Every item the driver allows to be damaged by improper handling or tying down will be noted as it's unloaded, inspected, and received at the destination point. A claim for the damage is then made against the carrier. Thought and effort on the part of the driver as loads are being secured can prevent such claims. In this chapter we'll look at the proper ways to load, secure, and unload cargo so as to prevent damage.
Match each part number with the driver's responsibility reference. Protecting cargo against... I fucking knew it, dude. Look at these things. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that we're gonna quote me this? I'm not gonna need this, bro. It's like protection against shifting or falling cargo. If you're loading the stuff adequately, you don't need to know exactly what this is. Securement system, blocking and bracing, front end structure. You don't need to know any of this shit, dude. Of course it's incorrect. I'm not gonna memorize that. I'm not a lawyer. Okay? It's fucking useless to memorize that. Waste of fucking brain cells.
Loading platform, trailers. The term platform trailer may refer to either a flatbed trailer or a lowboy. There is no end to the kinds or types of loads you may encounter if you are pulling either type of platform trailer. Some loads may be light, bulky loads. Others may be very compact heavy loads. Normally the loads that are destined to be hauled on platform trailers are loads that simply cannot be loaded into a box vent through its back doors, due to size or weight. Loads going onto platform trailers are those that are lifted and placed on the trailers by forklifts or cranes. Some loads may be driven onto the beds of the platform trailers. Height limits. Loads can only be stacked so high on flatbeds. First, there are height limits for travel on the interstate. This limit is usually 13.5 feet measured from the surface the vehicle stands on. Some states will allow taller loads, and may or may not require you get a permit, usually in advance, for such loads. A good trucker's map book would have details on specific state height limits. Second, for stability, you must keep the center of gravity low or you are more likely to tip. Load the heaviest pieces on the bottom. Lowboy trailers are perfect for high loads. Since the trailer itself is built so low, more of the height can be taken up by cargo. Also, the low-slung construction keeps the trailer and load stable. The regulations can get pretty specific about how certain loads, such as coils, pipes, and lengths of metal, are tied down. FMCSR Part 393.100 has the details and sketches of the requirements. The fact that metal loads are covered in such detail is not to say that all other type loads are not important. There are, and we'll discuss some of the more common ones in this chapter. Your carrier may also give you specific tie-down instructions for flatbed loads. Securing platform loads. The most common methods used to secure loads on platform trailers are cables and winches, webbing straps and winches, chains and load binders. All are easy to use. However, as you tighten them, they can crush, bend, or cut the load. So you must take steps to protect the cargo from being damaged by these securement devices. Place V-boards or wooden blocks between the cable, strap, or chain to protect the edge of the load. Regulations require that the working load limit of all tie-downs must be at least 1/2 times the weight of what's being tied down. Follow the guidelines in FMCSR Part 393.110 to determine the minimum number of tie-downs needed.
The tie-down says 1 tie-down per 10 feet, but with a minimum of 2. So if you have something that is even less than 10 feet, it still gets 2 tie-downs. It's not considered to be a common method for securing loads on a platform trailer. Chains, load binders, nylon, cables and winches. Incorrect! Is considered to be a common method of securing a load on a platform. Really? So what was the right answer? Doesn't fucking tell me.
Chains and binders. Some types of steel pipe, heavy steel beams, heavy machinery, rubber-tired vehicles, and construction equipment are best secured by chains and load binders, boomers. The whole purpose of chaining is to hold the load down and prevent its movement sideways or forward or backward. As you can see from Figure 28.1, proper placement and the direction of the chains will prevent such movement. The steel hooks on the chain are hooked to a steel rail on the sides of the trailer or to hook rings in the floor. The chain is placed over around the cargo and stretched tight by hand. However, no matter how hard you try, when you stretch chain by hand, it will not be tight enough to keep the cargo from shifting. The chain must be tightened even more. That's what the binder is for. You attach the binder and hooks to the chain with the binder lever open. Then you pull the binder lever to the closed position to tighten up the chain. Lots of broken fingers and arms have resulted from tightening load binders. Aim to keep your fingers clear when using this device. The proper way to install the load binder is with its legs open. Hook the load binder to the chain so you can operate it while standing on the ground. Make sure your footing is secure. Use both hands to pull the handle down or toward you as you attempt to snap it over center. The use of a handle extender or cheater pipe, a piece of pipe slipped over the handle, is not recommended. It's not safe. If you can't get enough leverage using the handle of the lever-type binder by itself, use a ratchet-type binder. When you release a binder, remember there is a great deal of energy in the stretched chain. This will cause the handle of the binder to fly up very quickly and with great force when it is unlatched. Keep your body away from the handle's path of travel. Never use a cheater pipe to release the handle of a binder. It's best to use a steel pry bar under the handle to pry it open. Again, keep your body out of the path of the handle as it releases. If you release the handle by hand, use an open hand under the handle and push upward. Do not close your hand around or grip the handle. Even when you release the handle by hand, it will fly up with tremendous force. Keep all parts of yourself out of the path of the moving handle. Blocks and braces. In addition to chains and binders, you may need to use blocks of wood to keep machinery mounted on wheels from moving. The federal rules specify 4x4 inch wood as a minimum size. The 4x4s must be nailed to the wood floor. If the trailer floor is metal, you can use chains to hold the timbers in place against the wheels. Many kinds of equipment demand a brace or support. The shipper often knows what kind of bracing to make and use. So it's the shipper's employees who usually make it. And although you may not be the one who makes the brace, you are the one charged with seeing the cargo is secure. If the brace or support does not hold, The results will be your responsibility. Make sure the lumber used for the brace is without nuts or cracks. Many a good-looking brace or crate has failed because one board had a nut or a crack. Make sure the nails which are used are at least twice as long as the thickness of the board they are being driven through. They should be nailed straight down or at an angle against the movement of the cargo. Bracing should go from the upper part of the cargo to the floor. If the brace or support does not look like it will do the job, call it to the attention of the person in charge. Ask to speak in private and be diplomatic. Tell the person of your concerns, and your reasons. Explain that once you are on the road it might be too late to make corrections. Be polite, but be firm. If you cannot correct the problem, ask to use the phone. Call your dispatcher and explain the problem. The dispatcher might want to speak to the shipper's employee. Don't leave until the situation is corrected. Remember, once the cargo leaves the shipper, you are completely responsible for any damage to the cargo and for any damage to roads, property, or persons caused by the cargo. Don't take chances with cargo securement. Protecting platform loads. Tarps. A tarpaulin, commonly known as a tarp, is a protective cover. In the trucking industry, tarps are used to cover cargo on platform trailers. You may need to tarp a load not only to protect the load, but also because state or local ordinances require it to protect people from spilled cargo. Tarps are tied down with rope, fabric webbing, or elastic cords with hooks. To tarp a trailer.
You know what, guys? I think I'm going to leave it right there. I need to get up very early in the morning. So, yeah, I'll thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up to my begathon. I will continue my begathon. Maybe I'll continue it tomorrow. I'm not sure. Tomorrow or the next day or until I get the money. I have some other plans to raise money as well. Do some day labor, do some DoorDash. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you everybody that showed up and helped out. I appreciate you. And yeah, if I don't see you, have a great week, have a great weekend, and don't forget to always take care of your business. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.